I believe that design should be a force for good. It should be for everyone, not just wealthy people. It should improve our lives and not play on our insecurities. For years, fashion designers had us by the short and curlies with their overpriced clothes until we began to loosen their grip. But now designer labels are moving into our homes, making us pay over the odds for stuff we don't need. Styling our homes has become a mass obsession. In recent years, we have been swamped with images of the insides of people's houses, with magazines full of pictures of modern furniture and endless TV programmes of homes and garden makeovers, DIY disasters and home styling abominations.
Open your eyes.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
well. Yes.
8 million of us watch programmes like this every week.
I really like the wall colour, it's much cosier and warmer.
If this inspires families to spend their weekends dismantling their cycles and turning the parts into short-lived, oh-so-witty light fittings, then let's blame makeover shows for the increasing obesity of the nation, as well as the creator of silly-looking rooms.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that.
Bicycle pedals.
When I was growing up, our house was comfortable and clean. We enjoyed the shared decorating experience, but it was wallpapering when the walls got mucky and changing the carpet tiles when you could see the backing, not a desire to change things every 6 months. But most importantly, our house was somewhere to crash out and put your feet up, a place to hoard my family's life experiences, the trips to Mallorca and Madeira, my grandfather's collection of encyclopedias, and the pictures of generations of Scotty dogs. Now we are encouraged to change our homes as often as we change our undies, and nearly every major fashion label has a homes range. You can buy Ralph Lauren towels, FC UK pillowcases, Calvin Klein sheets, Donna Karan vases, and some of the not-so-major names are also trying to get in on the act. I'm sat on a John Rocher pig leather poof, and I'm surrounded by, designer labelled goods. That's John Rocher, Jasper Conran, Lulu Guinness. And the thing with all this lot is it's boring. It's not got any artistic merit. It's overpriced. And it's there trying to get us to buy things just because it's got a designer label. And the only thing that it really benefits are the designers themselves, who need to do this to bolster up their businesses. Until these designers give us something that we really want and something that's really different for our money, I think we should just say no. The consumer for homes interior products has changed. It used to be the domain of bored housewives and your auntie, and now it's the so-called trendy men and women, and this magazine Wallpaper is their style bible. The person who was first to spot this niche was Tyler Brule, founder of Wallpaper.
Perhaps I was part of that generation that grew up with magazines like Blitz and The Face and ID and Sky and Arena, and I thought suddenly you reach that age and you are 25 or 26 and your priorities have changed, and by that point you're a little more secure in life, and you don't you don't address your insecurities through fashion. You need to address your insecurities through another way. What makes you feel insecure? And I was thinking it must be your home.
It reminds me of my youth and the insecurity and neurosis of personal style that constantly nags at us to buy clothes. And it seems that this style insecurity just becomes a homes neurosis for trendy young men and women. And this is what Wallpaper devotees die for. Second-hand furniture. Not any old stuff, but designer names. Have you got any Eames?
Yeah, there's an Eames chair right here.
Jacobson?
Yeah, once again, a lovely dining suite and a coffee set as well on top of it.
Day?
Yeah, here's a Robin Day Gatwick sofa system.
Race?
2 lovely race chairs right here.
Having one of these in your sitting room is like carrying the new Fondy handbag with naive applique knitted sheep on the side. It's the home's equivalent of being a fashion slave. If I go into someone's house and see that Eames chair, I just yawn. Haven't you got a mind of your own? My nan had more creativity and originality in the way she arranged her knickknacks. All this leads to a visual monoculture, where everything looks the same in the name of taste and fashion, and the so-called visual elite, with their shared vocabulary of design objects, are the fashion victims of the home. Buying designer furniture is an extension of buying designer clothes, but a designer sofa costs a lot more than a couple of shirts. I can't imagine that this furniture costs this much to make. A cushion for £1,000. £3,000 for a Cappellini sofa.
Some real bargains to be had, isn't there?
Trendy young men and women aspire to these objects. They are endlessly sold an image of a fashionable lifestyle by the magazines, and they can't see through the gloss. For years, fashion victims of the home have worshipped at the altar of this man, Philippe Starck, a French designer everything from garden gnomes to the interior of Eurostar. I went to the Starck Design Sanderson Hotel to try and find out more, and to sit down. This hotel in central London is for the international jet set, who jet from one Starck designed hotel to another, with suitcases full of designer labels and the odd Starck knick-knack, which you can buy from the hotel shop.
Is this Philippe Starck?
Yeah.
And how much are these?
215.
And therefore,
It's for the,
building muscles?
yeah.
215.
Yeah, it's 6 kilo and it's 3 kilo each.
So that's £35 a kilo.
Yeah, less or more.
I met a friend and wondered if he could throw any light on the appeal of Philippe Starck.
What is this thing about Philippe Starck?
But I think he's making life a little bit more fun every day, you know, because he's more, I mean, Philippe Starck is a serious designer, but that's reflected, you know, in his buildings or in his serious projects. But in projects like this hotel, I mean, it's a commercial project, but it's also fun. You know, he's actually laughing at himself.
Designs from the 80s are still being sold in posh department stores like Selfridges. God knows who buys it. This designer has managed to Starck everything. It's driving me stark raving mad. I can't believe that the British public is still falling for this stuff. The question is, how do we stop ourselves from becoming fashion victims of the home? Is this just design for design's sake? Does a futuristic 100 quid Alessi kettle make tea better than a 20 quid Russell Hobbs one from your local hardware store? Does a 30 quid bog brush clean better than one that costs £1.95? I'm not a killjoy, and the Sanderson Hotel does amuse me, but when it comes to a fly swat that costs 800% more than one that is equally efficient at annihilating blue bottles, and lemon squeezers that cost 3,900% more than the classic version, which I find works better for me, I'm not amused. Maybe I just don't get Philippe Starck. Perhaps people think it's funny. But is the joke on us for paying so much money for designer objects that are little more than ornaments? My nan used to buy dolls of the world in their cute little costumes, but they only cost £1 from Hitchens, not 50 quid from Selfridges. I bet you'll be able to find loads of Philippe Starck objects in the car boot sales of the future. Tom Dixon, head of design at Habitat, now he's a bright bloke. He knows about good design, What does he make of what's going on?
Has there been a consumer shift in spending into the home, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it by the publications that are out there, the massive array of magazines which are concerned with other people's lives, with other people's interiors, get you inside people's houses. Even estate agents' magazines, I think, I look at them with a real interest as to how other people live. So I think people are opening up to other possibilities, and I think what's happened in the last 10 years is that people have finally decided in England and the UK that they're 21st century people.
And in 21st century living, the use of the home is constantly changing, and designers need to find new solutions.
This is a temporary wardrobe for. It's for people that have to move a lot, or for people that have got too much stuff. So it's incredibly cheap. It's made in a tent factory and uses the same technology, and it arrives in this tube. So you can take your wardrobe with you wherever you go. I think there's some things which you really don't need to change. I mean, this is probably the dustbin that TC sat in Top Cat.
You're not charging more than the pound store for this, are you?
No, this is, we've got the advantage of being able to buy these things in volume, and so we get as good price as anybody else. But there's a real dustbinness about it, which I think, in some senses, I'd really hate to see mucked about by a designer. So there's something about the archetype of the thing, like the teapot, the dustbin, which I think is also valid in this shop. I mean, this is a Robin Day chair, so it's something which hadn't been produced since the 60s, a piece by our leading and most senior design person. I think he's 89 now.
I like what Habitat and Tom are doing, giving us well-priced, timeless classics. But one shop is not enough. I'd like to see cut-price superstores and a high street full of quality modern design at affordable prices. We need to become educated as consumers and not blinded by labels who make us pay more money than we really should and encourage us to buy stuff we don't really need. There's something deeper, more sinister and socially dangerous afoot. Get yourself comfortable. I'll tell you more after the break.